Jimmy. Jimmy. Jim James, son!
I'm driving home in the new acquisition. This one's a bit interesting. Look at all the freaking lights on. You know, this one was taken good care of. Look at that crack in the windshield. You can see it. Decided to drive this one home at night because it's just got a lot of mechanical issues and it'll be easier if it breaks down when it's nice and cool. There's one of the issues. See how it doesn't like to shift? That's one of them, pretty common for these 08 Ford Focuses. Well, we'll get to you guys tomorrow morning when I have some time to look at it in the daylight, in the cold, harsh light of day, whatever they call it. The next morning has arrived, and here it is. It is a 2008 Ford Focus SE coupe. It's a two-door. You don't see too many of those. It's an automatic, unfortunately, and it's got about a bajillion problems. They did give me the key for it, which I believe I have here in my pocket. There you go. They did not give me the fob, so thanks a lot. It runs, it kind of drives. It's got shift solenoid issues, as they all do. You can see it's taken apart right now. The interior is all right, it's all there. It's got crank windows, that's cool. See, this is all completely pulled apart because I'm attempting as best I can to get to the fuses way up in there that you can barely reach. Thanks, Ford. The center display thing is not working currently, so I have the cover over there on the floor off so I can take a look at what's going on there. It's got about 8 billion check engine lights. Yeah, they'll say, well, there's an airbag light. I know there was an airbag light. Maintenance required light. That's easy to get rid of, door ajar, you know what that means. And the check engine light. Check engine light is on because it has a bad thermostat, and it's got bad shift solenoids in A and D. You almost never see a D solenoid go bad, but at 215K, I mean, I imagine. Even the darned air conditioner works in this car. If I could figure out, I think it's this button here. So you can just hear it kick over. And it doesn't overheat. It doesn't have any mechanical problems that really prevent it from moving. And hey, look at that. That came back to life, huh? Huh, okay. Well, there's that, that's cool. I don't really need to let it run any longer. It's actually all right in here. Everything is here. It's a little dirty, see that? I don't really know how that happens, and I don't want to know. It's a Ford, and you know what that means.
You know what they say Ford stands for, don't you? It stands for fix it again, Tony.
You know what that means. I don't gotta make the joke. There's the back side of it. The tires on this thing are bald. Completely bald. So that sucks. Good old Texas sticker. This is the El Paso Special. That means it's a piece of junk. Check out the tint. See this tint? Look at this. Ready? Anyway, it's actually not bad. This came to us for $600 for obvious reasons. You know, it being a piece of junk and all. But overall, the front tires are good, thankfully. But overall, it's not that bad. I could have done a whole lot worse. Hopefully we don't have any real problems with the transmission. I already checked the codes. And the codes seem to back up what I say. Power steering is dead. I shouldn't mention that. It's completely dead, so it needs a new pump. And those are kind of a pain in the ass. Has full coolant. I checked brake fluid, which was nice. It's got a recent battery, not even a year old yet. So other than the fact that the transmission is having a freak out and the power steering doesn't work, oh, and the windshield is literally just smashed to bits, if you can see that. This has been a pretty good little project car for me to pick up. So we're gonna get started now, and I believe the first thing we're gonna do is the transmission work. Well, it's time to do the transmission on this Focus, and the first thing you gotta do is go up underneath there and check out the pan. There is no drain plug, unfortunately. Thank you, Ford. So you have to remove approximately 20 8mm bolts all the way around the perimeter of the oil pan. All right, the bolts are all out. I guess there really was 20 of them. They're in that Slurpee cup over yonder. Now what we're gonna do is put a oil pan down. And what I did is I didn't take all of the bolts out. I left a few on the edge here That way when I gently pry, right, since there's no oil drain pan, it's all gonna start pouring into the drain pan once I pry from this side. So don't just take all the bolts out and pry the pan off or you're gonna have a huge mess. Not 100% what I was aiming for, but you get the idea. Alrighty, there's the pan, or as my friend would say, the pan. And up underneath here. Alright, ready? This is your line pressure control solenoid. This is your A solenoid, B solenoid, and then, ready? C, D, and E solenoids. Here's the products we're going to be using. Motorcraft Mercon LV. That's just required. You have to use actual Motorcraft transmission fluid in these focuses, foci, whatever. If you don't, do at your own risk, basically. This is a filter. Here are the solenoids themselves. This is the C solenoid. This is the D solenoid. And these little baby ones are the A and the B ones. There's the pan gasket. Make sure the filter has the O-ring, which it does. You're also going to need some high temp RTV gasket maker just to stick this down when you scrape all the old junk off. And you're going to obviously need a scraper to scrape all of said old junk off. So that's what we're going to do now. These are the A and B transmission solenoids. There's one of the little bolts. So once you get those two off, you can then pull these two wires off and remove the solenoids. There's one of the solenoids in. Show you how easy it is to put one in. You just push it gently, wiggle it a little bit left and right so you don't damage the seal. And that's it. Here's the other side of the solenoids. Remember what I said? You're gonna have C, D, and E. So we need to remove C and D. To do that, you have to take one more 8mm bolt out right here, one more right here, one more right here, and one more right here. So 4 8mm bolts total, and this little bracket thing will slide out. That way you can pull these solenoids out. See this? That's the bracket that holds the solenoids on. See, that solenoid came out rather easy. Like I said, you take and you turn it. You turn this one in, and you turn this one in. And you take off a little tiny flathead screwdriver, and you just gently pry up and let it spray all over your arm into your cut that's bleeding and it hurts.
Shake off the excess and beat the devil out of it.
But that's okay. See? Now the other solenoid is out. All you do to get the filter out, you just grab a hold of it, turn it a little bit and pull down. It's gonna spray a bunch of fluid. Look at that. I mean, a bunch of fluid on you. So careful. Here's the new one. Again, it goes in the exact same way, just right up in there. Took a fraction of a second just to smack the filter back in there. There's a little peg right here you have to be mindful of. And also remember to put the sensor back on here, on the actual filter. And now we're gonna move to scraping the gasket off of the old block. I should say the block, not the old block. The old pan has already been cleaned. There's the seal. Make sure the bolt holes line up perfectly on every single hole, because that's gonna be an absolute bitch to put on if it's not. Make sure the side that says, whatever the fuck that says, trans pack or something pack, whatever, pack. Make sure the side with the text faces up. Put a little bit of this stuff underneath it to keep it adhered. Put a little bit more on this side, just a little bit, and then stick it up in there. Make sure, like I did, that you clean the mounting surface first. I still got to take a little bit off before I do anything, and also make sure if you have little leaks like that, clean it up before you attach the pan. There's our pan. I decided not to actually clean this part of the pan, just the actual area around where it seals. I did go a little overboard with the RTV, but you kind of have to on some of these. You don't want any leaks. That's nothing more discouraging than putting a transmission back together and it leaking. A Pontiac vibe. Yeah, you can guess what happened over there. Alrighty, now that we've let the pan seal overnight, we can go ahead and add the new fluid in. This is why I used the fluid that I used. It says use Mercon LV. Here we have Mercon LV, perfect. You're probably gonna use all of it. What came out was just about, 5 quarts. And there should be just about 5 quarts in here. So we're gonna take this, our long skinny funnel, and we're gonna remove the fluid dipstick, like so. Look at the size of that.
We're okay on Coke syrup.
Jeez. Anyway, now that we remove that, put it over there. we can take this funnel, put it down inside the transmission dipstick, and begin filling. This is a long process. So while you're doing that, check underneath for leaks the entire time. So we got the Focus running, and now it's time to put the car into gear. It already feels way smoother. Like when you put it into gear now, it just glides. Before it would be like boom, and you get your teeth knocked out basically. But I'm gonna be doing this for a while, just clicking through all the gears, moving the car slowly forward and backward a little bit to get all the pressure built up and the fluid circulating, everything like that. So I'll come back when I'm done doing that. It's been about 5 minutes and I've just been, again, meshing through all the gears. We're gonna go check for leaks now. You really, honestly, you'd have smelt it by this point if there was any leaks. Nope, we have no leaks. Pretty typical Ford Focus engine. But they all kind of do that. You know, it sounds actually really healthy for 215,000 miles. I can't complain. I always wonder how you get a chunk of a hubcap missing. Like, where does the chunk go? Anywho. So we'll do it a couple more times. We'll just put it straight into low. Put it into drive. Neutral. Reverse. And prac. Jurassic prac. Alright. So that looks like we're gonna do it. It looks like everything's going good. The maintenance warning light reset itself for some reason or another. And I'm gonna have to reset the check engine code and figure out what's going on with this airbag light, which I believe is actually caused by this belt buckle being broken. See how it gets stuck down in the down position? I think it has something to do with this. And the pumps and these Ford Focuses, Foci, whatever, are quite frustrating. See down there? Where you can't see out of your range of vision is this little thread fitting. And you literally have to just take an 18mm wrench and attach it like this, and then just twist it inch by inch, increment by increment. See, there's the old pump. All right, the pump was shot, obviously. And here's the housing. So the housing sort of just bolts over the pump. So it's like this. Hopefully this replacement pump is working good. It does appear to be in good condition, and then I have to hook everything else back up down there, including the ridiculous to reach tensioner. All right, we've got the pump in, the belt is on, the fluid has been topped off, and I aired it all out. You know, I got all the bubbles out of the system, and it's working pretty good. There's no screeching or grinding or anything. We'll go ahead and start it up. But the mission is to take this car down to the lot right now, because it's gonna get a windshield tomorrow, and then it's gonna be sold hopefully the next day. So there you go, you've got the airbag lights always on no matter what. That's my seatbelt light, and this light shuts off when it feels the need to, so that's nice. That's kind of annoying, but I did everything I could to try to get it off without, you know, ripping the whole freaking door off, but nope, nothing would work. So I'm gonna drive this down there now, and hopefully put it on the side of the lot. Tomorrow Safe Light is gonna come replace this abomination of a windshield, and then hopefully the next day I can put it out on the lot. So this is going to be the end of the Focus project. Thank you for watching, and I'm going to have a couple more videos out real soon. We've got a Trailblazer coming, an Altima, and I think maybe a Chrysler 300 of some kind. So stay tuned.